Hello, and thank you for joining us here on this segment of Sharing the Light from the Sunshine Cathedral. If you are vacationing in the Fort Lauderdale area or visiting the Fort Lauderdale area for any reason over the summer, we invite you to consider worship with us here at the Sunshine Cathedral on Sundays at 9 and 10:30 a.m. You may be considering a different venue to worship at over the summer to try out. We invite you to check us out here at the Sunshine Cathedral again for worship on Sunday mornings at 9 and 10:30 a.m. or any other activity or program that we might be having here at the Sunshine Cathedral. And now we invite you to enjoy this next episode of Sharing the Light with Reverend Dr. Durrell Watkins, who is a senior pastor of the Sunshine Cathedral, and the Reverend Katie Peterson, who is the minister of music here at the Sunshine Cathedral, as they focus on their topic of spirituality in the arts. Again, let's join this exciting, wonderful episode now with them on spirituality in the arts.
Welcome back to this episode of Sharing the Light. I'm Durrell Watkins, the senior minister here at the Sunshine Cathedral, and with me today is Reverend Katie Peterson, who is our minister of music here at the Sunshine Cathedral. So we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to both of us. My background, in addition to religion, is theater. In fact, the two have been inseparable for me my entire life, religion and theater. I've written theses about them. I have degrees in theater and in theology and the arts. My doctoral work was in popular entertainment as queer canon. That's what my doctoral thesis was called. I've done postgraduate studies in the arts. They are the same thing for me. And our liturgy here at the Sunshine Cathedral is very creative and very well produced. That's actually a good word to use for it, I think. Yeah. And we have amazing artists on our staff. I almost said faculty, but that would be true too. On our staff. And then Katie also has degrees in music and theater and interdisciplinary arts and theology and is working on a doctorate degree in sacred music. So we are an arts church. We bill ourselves as that. We think that there is something innately spiritual about artistic expression, about creativity. In fact, arts can reach people in ways that nothing else can.
Absolutely.
In fact, I try to make most of my sermons sort of creative and artistic and performative, so that they can be heard in a different sort of way. And we don't limit the arts here to so-called sacred arts.
Right.
We certainly, you may hear something from from old masses, from the 1800s, but you may also hear something from folk music from the 1960s or from Broadway in the early 21st century or late 20th century, or country and western music, or children's songs, it's just, and it all weaves in together into this wonderful blended expression of joy and hope and togetherness. And so talk about the spirituality of creativity, spirituality and the arts. In your graduate work, you combined the two, some movement stuff, but a lot of music and spirituality. So much of what we do, we depend on you to make happen. So how is it that you do it? Why do you do it? What's your thinking? I noticed that even in your choir rehearsals, you start with a meditative practice, and so part of your musical warm up is silence. Part of how you make music is by making no sound at all, and then you go from there. So this mixture of spiritual and the arts, just go.
Sure. What you talk about with sacred and secular and creativity, I really don't see any difference between sacred and secular when it comes to art or creativity. Yes.
It's infinity.
It's the infinity symbol, the panarchy symbol, the Mobius curve. I mean, there are all so many different ways. Yes, and there are reasons why that so much creative work is curvilinear and not rectilinear. You don't know where that turn is going to take you. And interestingly, the more you read about artists from Mahler to Madonna, from Puccini to Pink, any of which or all of which you might hear in one Sunday in Sunshine Cathedral, then, and in fact, we just heard at a concert we were at last night, Michael Jackson, in an interview, talked about how he said, I'm just the source that this comes through.
Right.
Right? I am just being open to what's happening. We talked to a couple
Every composer, every writer, and every good preacher would have made that same statement.
Absolutely.
I just open the channel and let creativity flow, and then I stand back and I'm amazed at what happened.
Right.
I mean, I could ask you to write a song tonight. We'd have a new one for tomorrow. That has to be something more than just your intellect, or you get sort of frozen up sometimes. You'd be stuck on, I can't believe he had such a ridiculous request in so little time, and blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, you would do it and it would be great. Well, that has to be a connection to like every great idea that's ever been had, to every possibility that exists. I mean, there's, that you allow to flow through you. So the spirituality and the arts, it's all the same.
Yeah,
And people who don't allow that to happen, people who overly script things, I think, choke that part out of it, and that's when it becomes dull and rote.
Right, and that's where as a novice with no musical training, we all can somehow hear the difference between a technician and a musician. There is something different when there's something allowed to flow.
Chopping salad.
Yes, chopping salad on the piano. Right there. Okay, the romaine is ready. Here you go. So, and I tell my students frequently. One student in particular, we were working on a song, and it was a blues song, and she said, I just don't think I can do R&B. She has a lovely voice. She does a great job, and she's wonderful. And I talked to her, and I said, you are a woman, therefore you understand what it is to be told, be quiet, sit down, don't be bossy, don't be all like, I will just tell you, I don't know what you've been through in your life, but I see that you are a woman. So I know you know what it's like to be put in a box. Take that and put that into your song. I want to hear that anger. It was really one of those really cool pop, like, angry songs. And she's like, just a really happy, totally nonviolent person, lovely, lovely girl. But she did know that pain. And oftentimes creativity has to come from, and as an actor, I know you know this, in our acting classes, we have to touch something real, authentic, genuine, and often painful in ourselves to communicate what we all understand as real authentic pain or real authentic joy. So that channel of authenticity is one huge component. And for me also, I'm big on pedagogy and I'm big on technique. So I practice my skills and I sing my skills and I work the technique so that when I'm opening that emotional and creative channel, technique doesn't get in my way. I'm not limited by thinking, I wish I knew what chord that was that I had in my head for this song. Oh, well, I guess I'll just use this chord because it's the only one I can find. So I have the technical expertise to set my spirit free. And that's where I think that those are the yin and yang and how they go hand in hand creatively.
And that's discipline also.
Absolutely,
and discipline is very spiritual. Things that you commit to.
Yeah.
And then that's where you grow as you follow that commitment. So we seem so cutting edge. People actually get it. Not so much anymore because we're pretty well established. I've been the pastor here for 7 years, and you've been the minister of music for about 4.5, and so people pretty much know what to expect now. This is not necessarily the church you came out of. It's almost certainly not like the church you came out of. Though there may be elements that that resemble that. I mean, we have a little altar call, not to get you saved, but to bring people together to share a moment of hope and connection and optimism and gratitude all together.
Right.
But it looks like maybe a healing service at a Pentecostal church.
Sure.
We have the Eucharist. It looks all the world like a Lutheran or Anglican Eucharist. So if you listen to the words, we're not saying the exact same things. And